I left my workplace. I just came home like I was on leave and I didn't go back. If you want to be part of our team, you should be firing on all cylinders.
All right, so once again, welcome to GAIDA-COM podcast. My name is Abdul Samad Gaida, and as usual, we are here to bring you yet another exciting episode. And this time around, we're talking tech, we're talking genius, because every time we talk about tech, it's all about talking to genius people who you hardly understand, because they always think out of the world, yeah? And they are the ones who always bring up these beautiful inventions that benefits humanity, not just themselves but everybody. So imagine building an app from scratch without knowing how to code, getting rejected by app stores for months, and also working hostel to hostel explaining an idea to people who don't understand what you're saying, and still believing so strongly that quitting would feel like quitting on your own self. Today's guest didn't just build a delivery app. He's trying to restore people's power to act. This is the story of Pina. It's a delivery app and it's live. It started small, but it's going global. Global, right? I wouldn't just say.
If you have people on Mars, it's going to Mars too.
Exactly. So today we have my very good friend. His name is Nazdin Suleimana, the founder of Pina, but you can call him Naz for short. He's the developer of this particular app, the Pina. It's more or less like a delivery app, and it's been operating for some time now. How long, if I may ask you?
The business started in March, so we are hitting 2 years in
March
2024.
2024.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So we are hitting about 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. In stealth most of the time. Basically, we were there, but not to everybody.
Okay. Yeah. So how did you start? How did you start? or what, let me rather ask you this: how did the idea of Pina came to you?
All right. So thank you very much for having me. Thrilled to be here. Hello, everybody. So I used to work in Accra, right? And sometimes I want to send like a surprise to my loved ones, right, back at home. And every time that happens, anytime it has to do with delivery, right? I remember there was a time I called the delivery guy, let's say around 12, right? And said, he will get done in 30 minutes. I said, okay, fine. Then, so I paid extra just so that to incentivize him to
motivate him to.
And I think it went to the person around 4. Wow. Yes. I wish I didn't do it because I had to explain forever, right? So I knew it, right, because it was personal to me. And later, as I was winding down my time at the organization I worked for, I just thought about these things. I knew that there were challenges, right? For a very mediocre experience, I had to pay so much, right? And the delays and everything. So that's how come, like, the initial thought of that things could be better, right? That's when it started from.
Yeah. So from frustration to solving a problem.
Yeah.
You were frustrated.
Very frustrated.
And you saw that it could be done better.
Yeah.
So that's how come the idea came.
Yeah, and generally speaking, I think of myself, I don't like mediocrity in every sense of the word. I just hate it, right? I don't care where it is coming from, whether it's done by an organization or an individual. I don't like it, right? And so anytime there's a portion of my life that it is there, I see what I can solve. I have the ability, and I just go for it.
All right. So for something that has to do with an application, I also learned that you didn't study coding in school. You didn't study anything about programming in school, but you saw a problem related to software technology, and you wanted to solve it.
Yeah, so yeah, that's true. I studied biotechnology. Shout out to biotech people. I studied biotechnology at UDS, but I remember perhaps in 2015 or 16 on Twitter. At that time, the idea of going for your passion and those sort of ideas, that's when it started like creeping into our society, right? And I was so confused when I started hearing that. So I was like, I wrote on Twitter, I don't know where I can find it, that I don't know my passion, but I just know I love challenges. That's just what I know, right? But I didn't understand what what I'm passionate about. Yeah, so it didn't matter. I didn't study coding. I didn't know how to code. I didn't know how to design, nothing. Right? But it didn't matter when you have a mission and you believe strongly in it. As Nietzsche says, whoever has a why can bear anyhow.
So how did you learn coding, and how did you get to a point where you had to develop Pina?
Okay, so as I said, winding down from Accra, I started to think about, okay, how can I learn how to code? So I had various ideas, right? The initial ideas, crazy ones, like, so I'll come home, I'll go to IPMC or something, do a crash program for like 2 months. Genius, right? Do a crash program for like 2 months, and then now I'm good to go, right? At that time, I was looking at, I have savings, right? So
at that point, you had just quit your job, right?
Yeah. So basically, and I'm not like an avid saver, to be very honest, right? I'm not an avid saver, but I always, somehow, I just believe things will work out. Like, please don't misunderstand. It's not I just believe. I think about them, but subconsciously, everything gets done. So what I did was, I said, okay, I have to learn how to program. But before that, I didn't believe I needed the app then, right? So I said I needed like creatives, right? Because I just worked in corporate, so I understood like the value of marketing and things. So I needed creatives. So how do I get creatives? I have the ideas. I know how I want my creatives to look like, right? But I didn't know how to do anything. And so I started, I bought a Udemy course, right?
Okay.
It was like 210 series, so this highly discounted, or 180. I always look for those ones, highly discounted ones. Yeah, so I bought it, and I started learning, right? And it was just not about building creative, it was also UX design. So that's app design and software design, right? So I started learning about it, then I started to design some terrible flyers. But at that time, I was genius, right? I thought it was it, right? And my idea was that I'll use these flyers. I just have to blast them through. Naivety is very good when you're starting anything. I'll just blast them through social media, and people will be like, wow, I always wanted a delivery guy. Look at these guys. Let me use them. Right? That's what I thought. And so, as I said, the first thing we did wasn't like developing an app or anything, right? Because in the back of my mind, I think we'll speak about it, I wanted somebody to develop the app because I'm a commercial guy.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, right? And so I'll just start with the flyers, and as we blast them through and we'll get some posters, people will be like, wow, I've always wanted this, and then that didn't happen. Yes, that's how we started. So fast forward, I don't know what I'm jumping the gun, but fast forward, I realized that I had to take full responsibility, right? If anybody should be stinged, I should die.
Yeah.
So I went back to my old friend Udemy, got a 180 series program, like a course on how to develop an app and things, right? And I started with YouTube, but I didn't start developing. I started to learn. I bought books, right? Just learning every day, right? Until one day I just said, nah, I'm going to start developing. And so the first time I wrote anything, like literally, you didn't even need to write it, but I just say I wrote it, right? And then it displayed like this has shoe, and I minimized it, and it was like an app symbol. It was Nirvana. I couldn't believe it, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So from there, then the idea of Pina came.
Yeah, so the name Pina was already there by March 2024. Everything, and that's how I think, right? I have, like, I think in mission, right? Like, for instance, it's not like, oh, this is a way to get money, let me start it. Nah, that's not how I do things, right? There are better ways to get money, right? So I think in mission, systems level, what does this mean, right? Not just for me, right? And so we already had the name Pina. We had what we wanted to do. We knew the challenges about currently, like, delivery, and then how we are going to go around it, right? So when we started, we go to UDS like around March, April. Oh, terrible. We'll go to UDS, and then you find, like, anybody. I'll stand in front of the hostel, like Yana hostel, and then anybody coming out, I'll say, hello, please, can you say, oh, I don't have time. And you just deal with the rejection, the heartbreak every day, right? And then until I said, okay, before we went to the app, we did a Google form.
You started with the Google form.
Yeah, before the app, because as I was talking to people, right, I'll say, hello, anybody who gives me the chance, right, to talk, right, be like, okay, I understand, take my number or something. Like, how do you move from take my number to the person doing an order? Like, it was so out of place. And so I said, okay, if we had like a system, perhaps when I talk, I could say you can even use this system to place an order, right? And we started that, and still there wasn't luck anywhere. And
that was when the Google form came. Idea.
Yeah. So as we were talking, as I was talking to people every day, and I hope, or I wish, like, you could put yourself in my shoes.
Yeah.
I just came from like a good job.
Yes.
Quit.
I'm just imagining.
From a good job, yes. Right? And I'm now here in this hot sun, right? Moving like from person to person, right? And there's one book I read, and it said that the reason why people don't start things is that in the back of their mind is like, who are you? Right? Who are you? That's the question. And if they can, and for me, it was like, is this me? It wasn't like, who are you? Who are you to try this? Is this me? Right? It's all like one from there. But still, it wasn't like, it's just like the things, the mechanics of starting something, right? Your ego, your spirit doesn't want to endure that phase. And if you are trying to build something, you can't hide it. You can't hide from it. You have to go through it. I'm still going through it, but you have to go through the other one I went through. Yeah.
Wow.
So after the Google form, that one too didn't work.
It didn't also work.
Oh, it didn't work. And I think the school was going for break or something. And so another idea came into my brain. Oh, we are doing delivery. Why should we just stop with food or these guys of customers, let's say? And so there are people, like, they do importation and things. They do WhatsApp. Those sort of things.
I see that.
Right? So we started to talk with them. Some of them, I knew people who knew some. And then the idea was just, we'll do last mile for you. So especially those who were in Accra, right? You see how it sounds like a genius one. Those who were in Accra. So when they take the stuff, they send it through the bus, and then they tell us, so we take custody of it, and then we do the last mile to their customers, and the customers pay for the delivery, right? And on paper it sounds like
so simple.
I think we only did one.
I gave up.
We didn't give up, right? So there was like just structural issues we couldn't get. Like, for instance, one, the importer is that their goods didn't come like on a regular, right? It takes like 2 months or something to come, and then you couldn't get all of them. It's like a seasonal thing, right? But I thought it was a good thing, and yes, so that today didn't work. And just, I think after that, we should be around July, June, July, we experimented on that. Then by September, I started to learn how to develop. That's when I started to learn how to develop.
I mean, you saw that was the only way. That was the best way to go, right?
Yeah.
So you started the app. I know challenges. You went through a lot to develop the app. Can you just share briefly
so
what went into developing the app?
So at first, as I told you, I left my workplace, and also I didn't tell anybody, not in my family, no single person knew. I just came home like I was on leave, and I didn't go back.
And nobody understood.
And they were like, when are you going back? When are you going back? And then I was like, I'll go back after Ramadan. I'll have a long break. Then finally I had to tell them, right? So since you did something without consulting anybody, when you are in the thick of things, right, you really can't go around. And I personally, in my life, I take full responsibility for my actions and inactions. So I'm not like really into this sort of going around talking about how things are not going well, right? And given that I had made the decision on my own as a man, I had to face the music. So what we did was, I started learning, bought the books, a course on programming, YouTube, and then just learning. So every day, and it was a good thing, because when I was in school, I was studying for a long time. So I had a book called, I'm an avid reader, called Deep Work, right? So it tells you that when you want to do something that's hard and difficult, that means it's valuable, you have to spend long stretches of time. So time blocks like 3 hours, 4 hours, those sort of things. And so I knew that, right? And I had time, right? But at that time, financially, I was like wrecked, right? And so I'll just lock myself in my office. I'll study. I didn't go, I think for a week, I didn't go home. I'll just be in my office. One time I'll go and shower, I come back, I just work. Yeah. So until maybe a month in, I realized that, let me just start doing this then. Doing is better than just studying, right? So I just said I would do it while studying. I will learn on the job, basically. And so I started to do just little things. I just want a picture to come, an image of the app, this. So every day it was, so I develop on a need to know basis. I don't learn things that doesn't really concern me now, right? So if we needed a button, how do you do it? And then I learn how to do it, and I implement it. And that's just how it started, and then it's still going, basically.
All right, so the app was developed. The next thing was putting in the App Store.
Yeah.
How was the feeling like when finally the app went live on App Store?
Yeah, so by December, I think we had a working app.
Like someone told me you cried, yeah?
Oh, I cried. I'll come to that. Right. I'm very emotional. Everybody who knows me will be surprised. Wow. But by December, we had like a working app. We could receive orders. We could know who was doing the order, right? And because I have this phrase, I say I have big tastes, right? Basically, I don't like mediocrity, right? So anything I do, even if it was a primitive app, it had to be very compelling, right? So by January, I try to put it on the App Store, right? And anytime we put, like, whether Play Store or App Store, we do a developer account and try to put the app there. They don't mind us. So for App Store, Play Store, that's Google's, you had to create the account, they had to send you an OTP. The OTP would never come. Here in Accra, I made my friends try, right, with my email, everywhere. And for Apple, they'll let you create the account, but you submit the thing and then they never get back to you. Wow. So that happened everywhere, like in this country, where I knew somebody, I'll let them try. And finally, I had to consult my friend, my very good friend. We're so connected, but it didn't come to my mind that I should let him do it. So he's abroad, right? So when he did it for Apple, he did it for Apple first. And if you want to regret being in Africa, not regret, but like understanding being in Africa, right? Well, he did it like in the evening around 9 p.m. And then by the time I woke up, they had approved the accounts, right? The accounts we've been trying, they had approved it. I knew they would approve it. Once he did it, they took the money. Anytime I did it, they didn't take the money.
They didn't take the money because they know they don't want to approve because it's from Africa.
Yeah, I'm not going to go so far as to say it's because from Africa.
No,
but I am in Africa.
Explanation of things.
Yeah.
You tried all across the country.
Yeah, all across the country. That's true.
Yeah. So only for you to try it.
It took less than 12 hours. Yeah.
And
it took less than 12 hours. And so once the Apple, so he did for the Play Store too. So we created the account and then basically.
So all went through.
Yeah.
From
basically,
abroad.
Yeah. Basically all went through. And so on March 1st, Apple. I actually went to the gym or something like that. I came very late, and then I published the app by 11 a.m. that day. So when I was in Accra, I had a friend who also tried to do like this app thing, and he hated Apple because they will never approve the app, right? So anytime I speak to him, he told me that, hey, Apple dear. So once I came from the gym, I checked, I saw an email, I checked, and then they said, oh, your app is approved like on the App Store. Wow. I went to the App Store, I searched Pina, and then lo and behold, it was there. Oh, I shared it here.
You started crying.
It was just the months, everything came through. So to be honest, I didn't even know who to call. You can know how solitary I was.
Wow.
I called my friend who you know, right?
Yeah.
At 11 something, and then he was sleeping. I was like, yeah, the thing is approved. I know you are sleeping. I have to tell somebody. I just don't know who to speak to, right? And that's how they approve. And in a week, Google approved this because it had to go through certain things. Yeah. So that was the first sort of. This is evidence that I'm not crazy, basically.
I'll come to what happened next, but before we're going for a quick break. But before that, I just picked something from what you said, and it's one challenge that really affects most young people in Africa. I'm not going to limit it to Ghana.
Yeah.
Most of the time, especially when it comes to tech-based solutions, when young Africans develop applications, it's very hard, just like what you went through.
Yeah.
Once you are in Africa, you are applying from Africa. No. And I don't know why it's so.
Yeah.
I have friends who there are some international applications, international sites. When you apply from Africa, you don't get it. So you have to always call someone abroad to apply on your behalf. I have done so myself sometimes, you know. You have to call a friend in abroad. Oh, Charlie, do this for me. Because over here, when I do it, they won't mind. As long as they know that it's from Africa, they won't mind. Yeah. And I think our communication minister should look at this because, Charlie, if you are training, I know they have a program where they are training young people in coding and programming and all that. Yeah. If you train a dozen of young people to develop application and all that, and they cannot get it live because they are from Africa, I think it's a waste of time. So they should start looking at these things and how we can also get on board. You know, it's headache. So let's go for a break. We'll come back, continue the conversation. Okay, so you're welcome back. Still here on GAIDA Podcast. You can also call it GAIDA-COM Podcast. My name is Abdul Samad GAIDA, and today I'm here discussing technology, discussing Pina, a delivery app developed and designed, and of course run by my very good friend. You can call him Nas. Is Nasruddin Suleimana. We're talking about challenges. We're talking about how he was able to come up with the idea and how he was able to develop this particular app that is now very common in UDS. If you're in UDS, you probably have used it before. And I'm sure there are some other places people have used it, right?
Yeah. I think some few, though we've been primarily in UDS, but in town, people have used it. Yes.
Okay. So what I want you to know is that, our previous conversation, we spoke about the fact that it's now live, yeah? So what I want you to do for me now, go to your Apple Play Store, right? That's what they call it, right?
App Store.
For Apple. And Google Play Store. Yeah. Go there, search for Pina. Simple name. And I love the fact that you chose a very simple name for this app.
Yeah.
Very easy. Pina, Piner.
Yeah.
That's it. Just search for it. Download the app. Try it. And you would know that this guy is really genius. Yeah? All right. So you're done with the app. The app went live. How did you get people to use the application?
Yeah, so well, we move from challenge to challenge, right?
Yes.
Anybody hearing this might say, well, what kind of obituary story is this? There's nothing exciting about it, right? So yeah, so the app was live. Unfortunately, for UDS, that was the sort of final weeks of the trimester, right? So they were just going to break, they were writing the exam, right? And myself, I was tied in with some family issues, like business stuff, right? So I didn't get so much time for that ending part of the semester. So there was one customer, I would give her a shout out here, to Fire, that's what she's called, to Fire, right?
Yeah.
Who heard it from one of my friends, right? And then she began using it. And you see, sometimes it's just one thing that would just keep, when I attended press, you say, keep the torch burning.
Yeah.
Right? So every now and then she would do an order. And then I would see it.
Wow.
I went the notification. I said, "Hey, really?" And then I would go and do the order for whether it was in the rain. I could care less. I'm looking for an order just to sort of validate what you are doing, right? And so I worked with her, and then she was in the final year or something. So she was in school, even though they were vacated. So every 2 days or so, sometimes every consecutively, she would do an order, and then like it just gave you the sort of like validation that this is valuable. Right, somebody finds it valuable, right? But obviously, if one person finds it valuable, it's not that valuable, right? But so so we're planning for when the school resumed, right? Because if you look at that app, it was primarily targeted to UDS, right? Because you had to select like your location, UDS, the time, and then that would give you like the price you pay, right? So when the school resumed, right, I went to work. I think before the school resumed properly, I'll go to UDS, and I only had like target of 10. I'll speak to 10 people about people. That was just it. If I can do more, fine, but the target was 10, at least 10 people. So I'll go to the campus. Anybody I see walking over there, there wasn't time for customer segregation criteria, nothing like that, right? So I'll just move to that person, and then I excuse them. I talk about PINA. They say, "Oh, it's fine. Okay, I'll download it." Right? Sometimes you encourage the person to download it in person, right? So basically, that's what we did until the school resumed properly, right? And so in addition to this, so I moved from 10, I went to 20, and then in addition to this, I would get the course reps, numbers of course reps. I call them and say, "When do you have a class? I just need to come and speak with people," right? So it was so nice. Sometimes you go to the class like 100 people, right? So you move from lecture to lecture, right? Say, the course rep would introduce you, then you stand in front of them. They're making noise, but still, you have to sell yourself. So you just talk through them, you walk through them, and then say, "Oh, I didn't hear." Then you go there, and then you find spots of people who are highly interested, and those were what we are looking for. We are looking for everybody. We are looking for the like early adopters, right? And those who go through even the pain to sort of get it. So you would go to them, you would talk with them, and then they tell you, you learn so much, because somebody will say, "Hey, it's too expensive," right? And at that time it was 10 cities from town to UDS. Actually, it was like a flat rate.
Wow.
Right? And it's too expensive. I said, "Really? How much would you rather pay? Do it 5 cities, right?" Although we are all laughing about it, gives you like a sense of, and somebody might say, "No, 10 cities is normal. It's cool," right? And then the next day, so whatever I do is when I do something, I'll calculate. So I went to this class, I met, let's say, roughly 500 people, because I'll go to like 6-7 classes, right, every day, right? I move to this, move to this. Sometimes I didn't even use the course reps numbers anymore. I'll just go. If there's a class and it's not like in session, even if the lecturer is there, I'll just say that my name is this, I'm a business owner, and then you know, people like to help people. That's what you get from this, right? Generally speaking, people really like to help people, and so you just talk about it. Anytime you are seeing 10 people, 5 people studying, you come and you say what you want to say, right? And somebody say, hey, me, I don't order food, and then you understand why they don't. Is it expensive? Is this because they cook? So I think through all those dialogue, people said, me, I cook. So we introduced groceries.
What?
Groceries.
Groceries.
Oh, yeah, okay. Groceries. So we introduced groceries for those who. So when we were doing that, I said, well, now we cover everybody. If you don't cook, there's nobody who doesn't eat food, right? If you don't cook, at least you buy. And we do both. Right? So we introduced groceries. Another hell of challenges. But
all on the same app.
Yeah, all on the same. It was just adding like a store or something. It's not like a difficult. But even through that, we just through these communications, some people said they wanted to buy prepaid. Yeah, prepaid. So we added prepaid.
You added prepaid
on that app. Yeah, we added prepaid. And it was so nice because the prepaid thing, really, they would use the app to like, they would select VRA, those sort of things, and then I hope VRA don't come for me. We are just like contractors. So, and then they select, so we had like products, 50, 100, they are just assumptions, 120, what somebody might like, and they would buy, and then it will charge them, right? But to come to us, and what we did was, I went to some those selling for VRA, right? So when it happens, the customer has a note, so they'll write the notes, like the meter number. So they'll write the meter number there, right? And they can add the name. So we'll take the number and then we'll send it on WhatsApp to somebody who was a partner in this, right? So when we send it to them, they buy the and send us the ticket, the receipt, sorry. Okay. Right. So then we'll send the receipt to the customer on WhatsApp. Or we'll just call the customer and say, have you gotten this thing? But just to be sincere and honest and tell them this is what you bought, this is actually what we did. We like to send the receipt so that you know that this was what happened. But that one we didn't really need to move. Right? It wasn't like a big business, but it was a cool thing. So, and there are times you go to the hostels, like Yana hostel. I'll move from the first room, you know, there is this way, on the down floor, each room until and there's a lot of work. After that, I'm too tired, right? Then the next day we go to this thing. But the important thing, I really like data and seeing how things are moving, right? So when we go to a classroom, I know, like, I talk to maybe 500 people, generally speaking, right? The next day I'll go to the app store, the accounts, and look at the downloads on both platforms. So if I talk with 500 people and then I get 10 downloads, right? It might not sound like a lot to many people listening, but that's a lot, right? You get 10 downloads, then you are like, okay, if it was like 300, let's say, so 10 over 300, basically you are talking of like 1 over 30 or something, right? And then you look at efficiency. Then when I go to the hostels, right, and then I do, that's like one-on-one, and that's how it's too tedious, right? But you might be hitting like 15-16% efficiency. That means it's way better than the class, right? And so now you are trying to move on to like the personalized experience, right? And so once we realized that, we said, okay, is it possible for us to get some people to help us do like acquisitions on campus, right? And we deliberated about it and then said, okay, we'll do it. But to do it, we had changed the app. It didn't have like we had removed the sign-ups, like the authentication, so we had to bring back authentication so that we can validate what these people who would help us, right, what they did, and if pay them their compensation, right? So it was in this that I started like really, so it's just this app, Nah. And also we had challenges with iOS for that app, right? When sometimes you go, because we're using drop downs, the iPhones, when you press the drop down, it doesn't work. Right? And most people were on iOS, right? And so it was a big challenge. Right? So those were the challenges with there are lots, right? It's just day by day, right? Day by day.
So you keep building upon it. But thankfully you're able to get people to use the So currently, like, how many people do you have using the app?
So for downloads, right? We might have about, on both platforms, maybe 400. It's been a while I've checked, actually. On that app, right?
Now you don't bother to check.
No.
I'm sure at the beginning you were just monitoring, just like,
every day.
And until I social media account, every day you want to check how many followers.
Until I told myself I won't be checking this unless weekly, because you go and do something. The next day, the app stores don't even update the thing like in our time zone. Right? So it would be live, like yesterday's thing would be live by perhaps 1 p.m. today. Right? So, and then you are worried about it, go and check, and then go and check, and the graph, their graphs, and the graph is just like this. And then you are like, really? And then we go again. I always see people post those things online. We go again this week.
They never giving up. We'll die with this thing.
So but as I told you off camera, like you were asking about how many people are using it. So once we were live before this semester or trimester of UDS, because I always have to gauge things by UDSs like operations. We had like a couple of users like every day, let's say, right? So on Mondays we had lots of people using it because of KFC and those things. But once we wanted to do the acquisition thing, right? And UDS was also going on vacation. So the app, I sort of shut it down. You could use it, you could check the things, but you couldn't place an order. Right? And the reason is because of resource capacity. I'm the everything. So, and people would criticize me, why are you the everything? And it's not my fault. I wish I had people. But and it's also because once you are doing something, right? I learned it from this one giant, Paul Graham. He founded Y Combinator. So Paul Graham says that there's always one thing in a startup. Like you can only focus on one thing, right? And no matter what you try, right? It's like a law. And so once I had to go to build mode, I couldn't be monitoring orders and doing so many things, right? So it's just singular focus. So that's what we did, right? So instead of just updating the app to let acquisition happen, no, I just went full me mode. I have to do the thing, right? And it's like a new thing. So basically the old app and all the code it had thrown away. When I say thrown away, it isn't used. It isn't used. Nothing of it is used. So it's sort of like a new build, but it's like an update when you push it, right? So, and these were things, they are new things. I didn't know how to do them, right? But we got them.
You got them now.
Yeah. So that's just, so we took a break because I had to go on build mode. But I think it's worth it because the new app is very, very, very.
So the new app is also live.
It's still Pina. It's still Pina. Yeah, it's still Pina.
It's just that an improved version of improved version.
So
you don't want to call it improved version.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, I'm trying to give like an analogy to that. So it's like nothing against us, like somebody in Tamale and somebody in Abu Dhabi or those. You understand? Like the places are too different.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's an order of magnitude better in everything, right? User experience and all.
All right, thank you very much, Naz, my very good friend, for sharing this interesting information with us. So there's something anytime you talk, I just pick something out of what you've said. There's something I've picked, and I just want to share with anybody who's watching us, especially the youth who are watching us. This is a young guy who had to quit his job. Good job. If you know Vodafone, Accra, it was a good job. I mean, this is a job that anybody would want to have. Quit his job because he had a dream. He saw a frustration. He wanted to solve the problem. He went in, and I know at some point, your family might think that, Charlie, because if it's me, yes, I would definitely say, this guy, pa, you get good job like this, you leave the job, calm the house.
Yeah. Oh,
what did your family think about that?
So yeah, my family has been, I'm not going to be like those who stab music and say my family has been supportive.
Always there.
I'm as honest as I can be, right?
I mean, they won't understand.
Of course, you have
even me. I mean, if not because I know you and I.
Yeah. You have a word, like you have like very, very big aspirations for your word, right? And then it seems it's about to happen, right? Gets a job, has gone to school, and then comes back from Accra, comes back to Tamale, and you are like, really? This must be spiritual, right? Because there's no explanation, right? But the issue is also because, me, I came from not nothing. I didn't come from nothing, but I just came from normal circumstances.
Nobody comes from nothing.
Yeah, but people are self-aggrandizing ones. That's how I call them. But I was born in just here, Tishigun town, right? And so I came from normal circumstances. And if it was a sort of normal thing, then something familiar, I wanted to open a pharmacy, right? Everybody would say, okay, fine. That's nice, right? And something we all know, right? But to explain to your family that Elon Musk is somebody I looked up to. Like, who is Elon Musk and who is Bezos and all those sort of people, right? It doesn't add up, right? Yeah. And the more you try to explain, the more they see that there's something wrong with you, right? And I would always post on my WhatsApp, right, or social media, like here's to the crazy ones, right? And it's crazy. Myself, I know it's crazy doing what I do, but that's just who I am, right? If I didn't do it now, I'll do it later. But I forget that now I'm single, I'm an individual. I take responsibility for only me, generally speaking. Now, and so I'd rather drag myself in suffering than put somebody. If you have, like, let's say a family or something, you can do that. It's very unethical. And so I'd rather do it now rather than later, right? And so, but my family has been, but now they understand. They try to understand, because once your conviction is too high, there's nothing stopping you.
So like I was saying, young people, we have young people who are not employed. I mean, they are still searching for a job. They don't have a job. But they have the whole time in the world to think, to create, to develop, to invent, to research, to read, but they still complain. They still use, various excuses, to blame somebody.
I don't have funding.
But this is a guy who had everything, but still knew that he could do something. And because we don't have an excuse, especially in this era. The youth doesn't have an excuse, whether you are working or not, especially to those who are not working and still complaining that, Charlie, I'm waiting for funding, I need money from here and there. The guy had to learn coding on his own.
Well, when I was a bit much younger, I used to have a lot of opinions, right? About a lot of things. So, for instance, people who are not employed, right, and then they are waiting on the government. So there are so many aspects to it, right? It's not really their fault that they have to, like for instance, they went to school. The Kool-Aid of school is what? Go to school. You get. I know people now use that as a mockery, but like that's the sort of Kool-Aid of school. Go to school, you get a job, and then you'll be set.
Charlie, having a conversation with you is just inspiring. It's interesting. It's just mind blowing. But our time. So what I want us to do is quickly get into the app.
Yeah.
So when you download the app, what do you see in the app?
Okay, so when you download the Pina app, right? Thank you for downloading, by the way. When you download the app, you launch the app. So the first thing it tells you is to use your location, like allow location access and also notifications, right? So you use your current location. It takes you to a phone number, like entering your phone number. You enter your number. We send you an OTP. You verify with the OTP. Then if you're a new user, then it takes you to set your profile. That's where we take your name, your date of birth because of App Store regulations, and then how you found the organization, like Pina, and then you submit, and then if everything is good, you are taken to the Explore page. So on the Explore page, we have like products in categories, right? So you can buy, like you can tap a picture of a product, or you can use a search at the bottom, right? The search would it will take you to the stores, a list of stores, and then you can select what you want. It's very intuitive. It's very beautiful. I called it I have big taste on the app stores. I have big taste. That's the code name for it. But it's a very I just believe that anybody who uses it is inspired. Not just, it's not about delivery. Pina, we exist to defy limits and boundaries, right? And so we just try to
so when you make the order, you make the payment online and voila.
So when you make a payment, when you do an order and you make your payment, we send you like a delivery code. So that's what the rider would need to fulfill your order, right? Once the rider is with you, then so that the rider knows that this is who I'm dealing with, right? So you get notifications along the way, right? Once the rider picks up the order, once they are close to you, and when they come to you.
Right. But there's this I saw something in the app. There's time about the fact that, because this is quite different from the other applications we've seen. I mean, this particular app gives you the time you are likely to receive your delivery. I would say you would receive it or earlier, right? So instead of doing what many others do, you would do an order and then you hope and pray, right? We don't do that. So we look at all the constraints of bringing the order to you, the product to you, and then we use that to generate times that we can actually serve you. So the times you select are not the times the order will start to come to you. That's when you are going to receive the order, or earlier. Right? And so that there's just good customer experience, so that if you sort of you have like a schedule, you know, I eat at 3, or I do this at 3, I want this at 4, then you select 4, and then you would have it then, rather than you do it at 1 and then you would get at 5, let's say. I know this is an extreme example, but that's how we operate, right? Okay, all right. But I also know that you want a team, right? You want people to come on board, join, and in various forms. Can you tell us what forms do you want people to join, and how can they join?
So if you have a store, like a business, and then you want to be onboarded on the Pina app, you can download the app. On your profile, you have at the profile screen, you get help. You'll find my personal number there, right? We have emails. You can contact us to get your store onboarded. The process is very fast. If you want to be part of us as a rider, right, you can also contact us. We just want people who are they just take responsibility. My life is, I'm the master of the ship or something, captain of my ship, those sort of people. So, and if you also want to be part of our team as like an employee or whatever, intern or something, right, you can also contact us. Just a disclaimer, and I think the first time I actually posted a JD, people were on my case that why is this hell? To be very honest, if you want to be part of our team, you should be firing on all cylinders, right? You should be just there, right? If you are not there yet, but you should be capable of going there. I'll be surprised if you are not there, because but if you want to be part of our team, it's fine. You have high tolerance of suffering, because what we do is hard work. And so
are you open for investors? Someone sees this and want to invest, put in some money, because it's a business. I mean, someone would want to invest.
So we have a way you can invest in our business, perhaps not directly, but the operations of the business. And so we are calling on people who want to sort of partner with us. If you believe in our mission and our vision of how our society can be, you can also use the same channel. Just set up, and it's very sort of selfish, because you have to download the app and set it up, and then you get my contact or the emails of the business.
I'd wanted to ask you to tell us your number, but
I can still share it.
So just share the number briefly.
All right.
But if you want to just get the number, please download the app. Yes. So you can share the number.
All right. So my number is 055-3141-363. That's my number.
Yes.
Should I mention it?
Yes.
055-3141-363.
Okay. So that's the number if you want to partner, if you want to work with them. But let me ask this one, because it keeps ringing in my head. I mean, there are some delivery, joints, or what should I call them? Yes, some
platforms.
Not platforms, because they are not software.
Okay.
They are not applications. What they do is that they have phone numbers. If you want a delivery, you just call them. They have like a call center. Somebody will pick and take your order, give it to the rider, and blah blah blah. They don't have application, and the application is easier. Is it possible for them to come on board and on your application?
Yeah.
It's possible.
It's possible for us to get something or work on something, right? I don't know the mechanics of how it be, right? But it's possible.
Okay.
Never say never.
All right. So you can also call. You can download the application, get the information, just apply, and I'm sure they'll get back to you.
But also feel free to call me. I'm as normal as I can.
All right. So finally, time will not allow us. Finally, what message do you have before we go?
So I want to first and foremost thank everybody who has downloaded Pina, has used it, has recommended or referred us to to anybody, right? And also to thank those who would be downloading it and using it henceforth, right? I just want to say that Pina is really a testament, right, to what we can all do. We want to create a world in which anybody can do what they want to do, right? And it's not really about delivery, but as to our identity, what we are and what we can be, right? Any friction. So for instance, the delivery is like any friction, we get it out of you so you can get what you want or gift what you want to gift, right? And so that's what I want to tell everybody. If you are a builder, keep on building. You would be alone. That's the nature of the thing. Whatever you are going through, you are going to go through worse. So that's the motivation you need today. Right. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Now